Hey guys, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you how. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Not only that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other sites. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Hello and welcome everybody to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I'm your host Murph. This is episode 1. We're going to be discussing golf related topics on this podcast, and also some other general topics in what's going on in the world today. Just to give you a little background on myself, I moved to Hawaii in 2013 after retiring from my job. Golf background, I didn't start playing golf until I was either 26 or 27 years of age, and my stepdad asked me if I wanted to come and play in the golf league with him. He needed a partner, so I said sure. Now, growing up, I played all the sports: basketball, baseball, football, and then after I got out of school, I started playing softball, so I stayed fairly active throughout my high school, and then even after I got out of high school, playing different sports. So I never played golf before that, and as soon as I played, I was instantly hooked. I'm competitive by nature, so I wanted to get better at the game. I wanted to become good at it, like I was in the other sports. But golf is one of the most challenging sports there is. A lot of people try to beat it, and it can't be beat. One day you may play good, the next day you may play pretty shitty, but it's not a game that you can win or beat at, because there's going to be days that you're not going to play your best. But I wanted to be very good at it, so I quit playing every other sport. I quit playing softball. I didn't play as much basketball as much, but I solely focused on trying to become a very good golfer. Never had any formal lessons, never taken a lesson from a pro. My lessons basically were reading Golf Digest and Golf Magazine. Then I go out to the range and practice what I learned in the magazine. So I did that when I first started. I probably was about a 18 handicap. And through the years, I worked it down. And currently, after 20-some years of playing and practicing, sometimes every day, my current handicap is a 2.2. So I'm always striving to get better, always playing or practicing. It was funny because I had a guy that I used to work with that he would only play once a week. And in league play, we're only playing 9 holes, so he would shoot 44, 45, and then I would play and I would shoot, 36, 35, 37, 34 sometimes. And he would get so mad that he was shooting in the 40s and couldn't play as well as I did. And I tried to tell him, hey, you play once a week. I play or practice every day. So you're only going to get better if you put the time and effort into it, just like anything. If you're not working at it and trying to get better, then you're not going to get better. So that's a little bit about my background. Play a lot of tournaments. I played on an amateur tour in Ohio called the OVGA Tour. Played tournaments every weekend someplace, usually Kentucky, Indiana, Cincinnati, Dayton, that area, the kind of tri-state area down in there. Did that for 7 years, and unfortunately, I mean, played with a lot of great guys down there and had a great time and did well. Um, Elected into their Hall of Fame in 2014, so I went back after I moved here and went back for the ceremony and got inducted into their Hall of Fame, which was an honor. And I started playing out here, playing the local tournaments, amateur tournaments, of course. Played on the Golf Channel Am Tour for about 5 years, 6 years. It recently disbanded, but they're bringing it back under a new name. It's going to be the US Am Tour. So if you're interested in signing up for that, go to usamtour.com and you can read about the tournaments and what's going on. I don't think we have any tournaments scheduled yet here in Hawaii because it's so brand new, but that will be coming on board shortly. I'm currently the president of the Beach Boys Golf Club. We play on Mondays somewhere, different courses around the island. If you're interested in maybe joining our club, if you're local here, you can go to beachboysgolfclub.org, and we have a website. It tells you our schedule and the winners of each week, who won what. I play TaylorMade P790 irons, 4 through pitching wedge. Have the TaylorMade Raw wedges, 50 degree, 54 degree, and 60 degree. And I play SimMax driver, SimMax 3 wood, and SimMax 3 hybrid. And the TaylorMade Spider S putter. A good friend of mine, Chris Wright, was the TaylorMade rep here, and he turned me on to TaylorMade equipment, and fell in love with it. It's good stuff, and I like the way it feels, the way it sounds, and I've enjoyed playing those clubs. Interesting story. So a couple of weeks ago, Beach Boys, our golf club, we played at Mililani Golf Course. Mililani has a hole-in-one challenge. Used to be hole number 15. You would pay either $5 or $10, and you would have a chance to win $10,000 or $20,000, depending if you had a hole-in-one on that hole or not. Well, recently they just changed it. They moved that hole to hole number 7, and I knew that going into the day we were playing, and so I paid my $5 for a chance to win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, and so we started playing. Well, I was not having a very good day, was not in a good mood, and I actually took an 11 on a par 5 hole. I hit a OB twice, and by the time we got to hole 15, hole number 7, that was the hole-in-one chance to win $10,000. I obviously did not have a hole-in-one. I did not win the money. And so by the time we got to hole 15, which was the old hole that used to be the $10,000 hole, I had told my playing partners as we was driving up, I said, watch, somebody's going to get a hole-in-one on this hole now that it's not worth anything. And so we get up to hit, and I tee off first. And it's 143 yards. I think it was 143 yards. I hit a 9-iron about 3 feet past the pin and spun it back, and it's starting to go towards the hole, and the guys are starting to get excited, hey, Murph, it's going to go in. And me, having the bad day that I was having and taking an 11 on a hole, I wasn't really too excited about whether that ball went in the hole or not, but fortunately it did go in the hole. That was my first hole-in-one ever, and they wanted to high-five me, and I was just like, whatever, man, that's stupid, because I was playing so bad. It wasn't that exciting to me. So I did take my picture with the flag and the ball in the hole and everything, and the golf course gave me a flag. Congrats to a hole-in-one winner. And I had the guys I was playing with sign the flag because I'm going to frame it and put the ball. I kept the ball, and I've got a ball holder for it for a hole-in-one. But I just made my day a little worse making that hole-in-one because it was on the hole that was no longer the money hole. So I lost out on $10,000 also. So I wasn't really happy, but the next day after my attitude got a little bit better, it was kind of exciting, and I was glad that I finally got my first hole-in-one. I've been close a lot of times, right on the edge of the cup or maybe 2 or 3 inches away, but finally this one went in, and hopefully I'll have many more to come. The insurance company, I guess they paid out 6 claims for hole-in-ones on hole number 15 last year, and the insurance company made the golf course move the hole, move the money hole to a different par 3 because it was too easy. Obviously, there was a total of 12 actually hole-in-ones last year on that hole, but only 6 people paid the extra money to get a chance to win the 10 grand. So it's about 8 o'clock. I'm almost 9 o'clock here now, and Hurricane Douglas was on its way here and was supposed to hit our island like at 8 o'clock, but I just went outside not too long ago, and it's calm, no rain, no wind. It's pretty surprising. Hopefully it'll stay that way because we have golf tomorrow at Hawaii Kai Golf Course for the Beach Boys. I also play on Tuesdays and Fridays with 2 clubs. Bunch of great guys. We do have a lot of good golfers here on the island of Oahu, and also on the outer islands. I have a couple buddies that one lives on the Big Island, and one right now is over on Maui working. I look forward to playing with these guys. If you guys have any questions or want to suggest any topics to talk about, you can email me at murphsplace808@gmail.com. murphsplace808@gmail.com. And pass along your ideas for topics that you want me to talk about on the show. Hopefully I'm going to have a couple of guests, maybe a couple of interviews with some golfers. I have a friend who's on the Corn Ferry Tour right now. Hopefully I can get him on the phone and get an interview with him and let him pass along some information about the tour that he's playing to you guys. And we'll also cover some of the professional golf scene to see what's going on. It's kind of weird. They started back to golf, but not having crowds there. So I wonder how that affects the players. And maybe my friend that's on the Corn Ferry Tour can relate to that. I'm sure that they're playing tournaments where there's no spectators also, and I just wonder if that is a plus or a minus for them to not having the fans there. Sometimes that can get you geared up, and people are cheering for you that you do better in some sports, and I wonder if that's the way it is with golf or not. But yeah, if you have any topics or ideas or things you want to talk about, just shoot me an email and or any questions that you may have about what's going on in the world of golf or equipment. Like I said, I'm a big proponent of the TaylorMade equipment. It's all really good equipment. This episode is sponsored by Smart Boy Studios. They're based out of Dayton, Ohio. Go to smartboystudios.com. Check out his site, buy his merch, and if you're a rapper, you want to spit some bars, he's got beats for sale on his site, and show him some love. I got a funny story to tell. When I first moved here, I learned this game called the Murph game, which is what everybody calls me, Murph. But I learned this game here, and it's basically a game where you can call Murph anytime, but you have to get up and down, meaning you hit your second shot, and it's off the green, like on the edge, and you can call Murph, and you chip it on, and you have to putt it in to get a point. Anytime you want to call Murph, you can call Murph, and it depends on how far you're out as to what your odds are as far as how many dots you get. So anyhow, it's a fun game, but I didn't learn it until I moved here. I went back to Ohio in 2014. I went back to Ohio, and a bunch of guys, obviously, when I go back, they want to play golf. So they're like, hey, let's play golf. I go, okay, let's play the Murph game. And they're like, the Murph game? Well, this is kind of going to sound sketchy because your last name is Murphy. And we're playing the Murph game. This is a game you made up? I go, no. I learned it when I moved to Hawaii. And so we played this Murph game, and I ended up winning quite a bit of money from the guys. And the one guy didn't have enough cash, so he had a little bit of cash, and he gave me winning Keno tickets. I was like, are you serious? I had to go and cash these winning Keno tickets in to get me the cash that he owed me. It was so funny. And to this day, he still brings that up. He said, yeah, we had to play this game named after Murph, and he made the rules up as he was going along. And next thing you know, I'm giving him my golf pants because I don't have enough money. So it was a funny and a good time. But yeah, I didn't learn that game until I moved to Oahu and started playing golf here. It's one of the advantages of one of the reasons why I moved here was I got tired of starting my golf game over in April every year. It was like starting brand new. And then I could play until about October, and then the weather started getting bad, and I had to put the clubs up or go to an indoor hitting range up in Toledo. I did that a few times, but yeah, here I could play 365 days a year. And when it rains here, it's not like rain on the mainland. It's kind of blows through pretty quick, and it doesn't rain real hard most of the time. So I get a lot more golf in here and have improved a lot since I moved here, being able to play or practice every day like that. If you have any funny golf stories you want me to relate or want to pass along to me, just email me those, and I will try to get them on the air for you. Also, I'm going to try to keep the podcast limited to about 20 minutes, so it's not too long, but it's also not too short. As long as I keep having enough material to cover that time, then I'll try to stick to the 20-minute limit. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening today. Hope you have a great day. Work on your game. If you're playing golf, try to get better and enter into the local golf tournaments. We need good competition to play against in these tournaments. So enter in them, and we'll see you on the golf links. You've been listening to the Murph's Place 808 podcast for the love of golf, and we will see you next time. Aloha.